All right, you loyal listeners. Welcome to another episode of Agency Intelligence Podcast, where I give you a real agent inside a real agent, giving you a real agency intelligence and not the artificial that they try to make you believe out there. I tell you what, I butchered that. I mean, I have done this 800 some odd times, and I butchered that right off the bat. Sorry about that, loyal listeners. I really do. But you know the gist of what I am trying to say there. So today is January 24th of the good old 2023, and I am here today with Mr. Elijah Goodman. Elijah, welcome to the podcast, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jason. Better be on.
Yeah. It's so funny because I don't know why, but maybe it's because I'm too political, but every time I was thinking that I had a podcast with you, I kept thinking Elijah Cummings, which is a Democrat politician. And I would look him up, and every time I'd be like, Jason, it's Goodman. I don't know why it is. Maybe because I don't know many other people that are named Elijah, which is a great name, by the way.
No problem. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't run into a lot of Elijahs.
Yeah, I know it's an uncommon name, so I do like my name. My parents did a good job.
They did a good job raising you too, from what I hear. So all you loyal listeners, just to yeah. All you loyal listeners, here's one thing I want to kind of throw out here. I've got some agents in my office, Jake Gines. We were talking about different people that have different personas and they're using social media in a different way, whether it's, using it strategically with trying to get commercial lines or personal lines or whatever. And his name was brought up, and he said, this guy is somebody you got to reach out to. Now, I think as Elijah and I talked a little bit before, loyal listeners, there's been some things maybe that might have changed behind the scenes. Maybe he's not doing it as much. Maybe he's kind of changed his brand. Maybe he's doing things because there's something that happens. And a lot of you agents know it. Maybe some of you younger agents don't know it. And I say a young agent is 35 or younger, less than 2 years in the business, let's just say. And the thing is when you work hard and you brand hard, you run into the problem that I'm assuming Elijah's run into, which is overwhelming amount of new business coming in. And then when the new business comes in, oh shit, we got to figure out how to handle this. And then, oh shit, we got to make sure we don't lose it out the back door. Am I right, Elijah?
No, 100% right. And obviously,
that's what happens.
It's a problem to have, but yeah.
What I always say about this is it's a good problem to have, but it's still a beeping problem,
Yeah.
That's basically it. That's the real truth. No, I get you, man. I get you. And what's great is a lot of agents on here get you. So here's what I want you to do, man. Tell me a little bit about your agency. Where are you located? Tell us about what it looks like.
Yep. So we just started in just a year ago, pretty much in January. So a year ago, January, opened it up. It's me, my dad, and Jennifer Donovan. So it's a 3-person agency right now. And we're located in Brookfield, Wisconsin, which is right outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So, like right around that area. And pretty much opened it up in January, and then pretty much started off. It was good, and then you got a little slow in the middle, and that's really when my TikTok and social media stuff took off because I had some downtime, I guess, or time to kind of play around with different ideas to get. And then it's funny now, like we kind of talked on, I'm not posting as much lately, which is good because I've been really busy with actually writing business and everything. So, but it is a really cool trait to have because, whenever I kind of want to get some more leads, I can just kind of go on there, post some stuff, get some more leads coming in. But, it was a wild ride with the TikTok, especially when it
first started. Is it really like that, Elijah? Is it really like that you can just go make some posts and you can get some leads?
Yeah, especially with Instagram. Instagram is the most helpful for that because I can put something on my story, or I make pretty much put something on my story about like reaching out to me to get a quote, and then usually I'll get quite a few people to DM me saying, "Hey, I want a quote." And then also I have a link, quote sheet link in my bio. So pretty much when I post a video, I notice I usually get at least like, depending on how the video does. I'm kind of washed up now, so they don't do as good as they used to, but I'll still get like 15 to 20, at least 15 to 20 on a bad video, people just filling out the link to get a quote, which is obviously an awesome way to get leads for free.
Absolutely, dude. And so tell us about this. So one day you're sitting around, you're looking at TikTok before it all started, before Elijah was known on the TikTok world.
Yeah.
How'd it start, man?
Yeah, so it actually started, I was I was at my friend's house, and it was like me with my group of friends. I actually made a bet with this one person. Her name's Sarah Pasternak. So shout out to Sarah Pasternak. And I made a bet with her that she just posted a TikTok video that got a lot of views, and I told her I have this video idea, and I guarantee you I'm going to get more views on this than you did on your last video. And that was my first one that kind of blew up, and that was me doing a cold call where I was getting screamed at. But the guy screaming at me, that was like, he's one of my best friends. His name's Josh. So literally I posted that video before a softball game, and then I remember me and him are on the same softball team, so we play softball, and then I looked at my phone after the game, and it just like blew up like crazy. So that was really cool. That was my first video that ever blew up. And then I
kind of made you think, right? Kind of made you think like, whoa, wait a minute here. There might be something here.
Exactly. I was kind of like, okay, maybe I'm onto something here. And then I kind of just followed the wave with that and kind of kept running with that same material. Because I was posting videos before that didn't get any traction, which I didn't think anything of because it was just a normal. My friends would kind of interact with it. That was it. But then kind of hit a home run with something that worked, getting screamed at the phone, and then doing random stuff. So I just kind of rode that wave. And then pretty much for a few months there, I was really grinding with it, posting every day, and just, it was a lot of work, honestly, because I had to get people to film, people to, like, be in the TikToks, people to do all this. So it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun, too. And at that point, business wasn't as busy, I guess. So I kind of had more time to play around with that, which I'm thankful for because there's kind of, anyone who starts off in insurance, especially starting a new agency, there's going to be slow times, which are really frustrating at the beginning. So it was a good outlet for me at that point in time. And knock on wood, hopefully I can keep posting when I want to, but not have too much time to post too much.
See, so this is a great point right here. I mean, I'm glad we're really breaking this down. Elijah, you don't understand the value you're giving to agents who are listening right now, who have an idea and are thinking about doing it on TikTok. In no way are we discouraging you from doing it. We're actually showing and giving you behind the scenes of someone who has done it. It is work, right? People especially people who don't want to do it on TikTok, they're just on because they're on. They see these people doing it and they think that it's easy. And I like sometimes these TikTok videos will show the outside of them making the thing, and you're like, holy shit, there's a whole lot of work into this. It's good to hear you say that, Elijah.
Yeah, it was a lot of work, and honestly, there are a lot of times on weekends, too, where, like, Saturdays or Sundays, I'd have to, like, try to get 2 or 3 people who are like, hey, can you please come to the office so we can make TikToks, and you please, like, meet me in my house so we can do some door-knocking skits or whatever it is. But, no, it was a lot of work, and then I don't know if you've seen any of my videos, but I have, like, these interns in my videos. They're not actual interns, they're just my friends, but then, like, we'll make videos and they get bored and they don't want to keep making the videos, so then I have to, like, when they get burned out with it, so it's just, I don't know, it's a lot of work, because you got to keep everyone happy, and I don't know.
Oh, man, that's a good point. Like, in Hollywood, they can just hire people and keep paying them, and no matter what, we're having a season 2, everybody. If you lose half of your people, you're like, oh shit, I gotta change the storyline.
I know, and it's like, so literally my best friend is Matt, and he's intern Matt in my videos, and we'll like post videos, so they'll do like super well, like blow up, and we're all excited about it, and then I'm like, hey Matt, you want to make some more TikToks? Like, no, I'm not feeling it.
And to be honest with you, you're the one benefiting from it, and they're not trying to be rude, but it's like, brother, I got my own thing to do, so that
I know, 100%. He's working all the time. He works his butt off at his job, which is, whatever. So, yeah, like you said, at the end of the day, it really only benefits me because it's like me getting my name out there for Goodman Family Insurance. But I will say one advice I have for people that want to post on TikTok or Instagram, social media, and I wish I did this earlier, because I was didn't expect, I guess, to like get all the traction at the beginning. I didn't put in like a quote sheet or an intake form or some way for them to contact me for a quote at the beginning. So, especially at the beginning when my videos were blowing up the most, I would have got way more leads than I even ended up getting if I would have just had a quote sheet form or some type of intake forming at the beginning.
Wow.
Because you never know what video is going to blow up, to be honest. So you always want it in there just in case one of your videos does blow up.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I know there's no rhyme or reason, but is there any kind of rhyme or reason that you kind of saw, like this type was better than this type, or?
No, not at all. Because I have videos that I think are funnier than the videos that did really well, that did not do well, and I don't understand it at all.
I back in 2011, 2012, 2013, well, actually 2009, I was selling on Facebook. I mean, I was doing these giveaways of these iPad giveaways, and I would record them, and there was all these things I would do, and I would run and jump in the snow, and I would and I would get people to follow them, right? And people would watch them, and I'd be like, dude, this is great. But I'm just what you just said. Like 3 or 4 of my videos that I'm like, oh my God, this is classic. This is great humor. This is great comedy. It all came together perfectly, you know? And like, that's like, yeah, people watch it and are like, that's cool. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. You like this other video and it was stupid as shit, you know?
I know.
That's like B-roll, you know? And so
I know.
It's like,
no, I know what you mean exactly. It's like some videos just like blow up and other ones like you think, oh, this is going to be a home run, and they like totally flop. And you're like, what?
You know, it just makes you wonder the algorithm, or it just, what do you think, the algorithm, or it just got the right amount of people that watch it long enough for TikTok to say, hey, these are important people? Or...
I don't understand it fully at all. I do know it's important to try to get people to like watch as much as the video as possible, so try to make it like interesting at the beginning to catch people's attention, and then I know too, if you can get people like, I think, comment or engage with it, it helps quite a bit too, but yeah, I don't really understand it.
Yeah, I don't either. I just think it's fucking, excuse my language, I think it's freaking great. I really, truly do. And that's why I wanted to expose you, because I think there's a lot of people that think about doing this. And to be honest with you, everybody tries to copy, right? Yeah. I think if people, like, I'm out at events, right? I go across the United States, I speak at events and things, and when I'm there and I listen to people, I'm like, damn, if you did a TikTok video and you did a series on that, that shit would blow up, right? But then they're over here trying to copy somebody else, you know? And it's like, what makes TikTok original is I could do the same exact shit that you did, almost copy your videos perfectly, and no one would watch it because there's something you do that they like that I don't. You know what I mean?
No, I understand. And that's the thing too, like you kind of talked on with the brand thing. It's like once you kind of get that following and traction and I guess followers or whatever, once you start posting, you kind of have your followers, so they're gonna just interact with it way more than if someone random just posted the same video.
Correct, absolutely. Now let me ask you, so you're Elijah Goodman Insurance. Let me see. I want to discover you here because there's some other Elijahs that are kind of stealing your thunder. You got 941 followers, is that right?
It's Big E, the insurance guy.
Big E, the insurance guy?
Yep, and then that's TikTok and Instagram is...
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
I looked at it, 92,000 followers. That's sweet.
Yep.
My God, I have seen you before. Yes. Okay. Well, when I was told about this, because we booked this podcast a long time ago.
Yep.
And then somebody got sick or something happened. I think it was my fault or something. I was out of town. So yeah. So dude. Yeah. So what are some things that you would give as advice that you would say, like, as you said, you want to make sure that they know up front that they need to watch the whole video. So you're kind of luring them on a little bit. Any other kind of tips or anything? I
would say, so that's the big thing, is just making the beginning of the video as interesting as possible to someone listening to it so they keep watching it. And then, two, I'll say, if you have a video that blows up and does really well, I would just try to ride that wave as much as possible. So whatever the video is, just keep going off that until you lose momentum with it. Because that's kind of what I had a lot of success with at the beginning, is I didn't...
Now, hold on. You said keep going with it. So are you saying make a part 2 of that same thing, or riding the wave of just that one over and over?
Yeah, it kind of depends. For example, like with me and my cold calling was the first one that blew up. I just kind of kept doing different cold calls. So I just kept riding the wave of cold calling people and saying stuff. Yep, so that was kind of what I did. And then I did door knocking skits. So then I kind of rode that wave because I did the cold calls, and then that did really well for a while. Then it kind of started to die off, and then I went to door knocking skits, and then that did really well. So I wrote that wave, and then as that kind of slowed down, then I went to then I brought in the interns and stuff. So it's kind of just like finding what works, writing as long as possible, and then if it stops working, just brainstorm and try to come up with the next thing.
Now, Elijah, anybody who's listening and would be in the 40s, of my age, and been in the industry a while, would know that Ryan Hanley and I started a lot of this back a long time ago, and he did something. He did something in 2011 called the 100 Videos, and he did 100 YouTube videos, right? And he challenged people to do it, and it wasn't done until Chris Green did it, and literally got like 700 videos. It was crazy. The dude did a whole year. Also, Mike Crowley out of New York also did 101 videos. But here's the amazing thing. It took 8 to 9 to 10 years almost for somebody to do that. And when I would ask people, why don't they do it? They'd say, man, and this is my point of coming back to you, Elijah.
Yeah.
They would say, he covered so many of the questions, I really don't know what mine would be about. And if you ask and told that to Ryan, Ryan would say, go write down every one of the damn questions I wrote down and redo it, because Google's not showing me to people in freaking Illinois. He was in, and I loved that about Ryan, to say, quit trying to, same thing with you, Elijah. I mean, people could literally go watch what you do. They could go do the cold calling like you did, right? They could do the knocking on the doors. They could watch your stuff, and they could blow up just as much, if not more than you. It all depends on the, right? Tell them about it, Elijah.
No, absolutely. And, like, I get ideas from other people on TikTok, too. But I think something's funny, I'll try to interpret it into my own videos. So you kind of see what works. Like, you can see, and I don't know, some of my videos can be kind of inappropriate, but if you want to keep it appropriate, you can kind of see what works with me, the cold calling skits and whatever. Just put it out there and see what happens. And at the end of the day, I think people get too worked up with, and I used to be like this too, getting too worked up about how a video does or how many views it gets, how many likes it gets, comments it gets. At the end of the day, if you post a video and it totally flops in 2 weeks or a month, no one's going to even remember you posted a video. It doesn't matter.
Oh, God, that's so important that you said that. And can we relate that to all content, Elijah, right?
100%.
You make a blog and someone reads it. One of my famous mentors told me, he said, Jason, if you realized how little people actually thought about you, you wouldn't try to think about it a lot, right? Because and it's so true. Because you took the time and the hour to put in to make it doesn't mean that everybody knows that, right?
Exactly.
And I think that goes back to why some of our best aren't they don't know it's our best, right? If we ever say, like Elijah says, this is my best TikTok video ever, like you may mean it, but people are like, yeah, he probably says that a lot. You're like, no, I'm being serious. This one,
Yep.
So,
no, 100%. And just, that's like the biggest thing is just when you put out any kind of content or whatever in a month, 2 months, no one's going to remember you posted it. And if they do, it's probably a good thing because it means it was a really good video. No one's going to remember bad content you put out.
That's a good point. So let's talk about now. Last year, you're doing this stuff, and you've even started to slow down because, number one, I mean, everything has its lifespan, whether it's a month, whether it's 5 months, whether it's a year. I think sometimes people can't get over that. Google knows that better than anybody. They realize something's not working, they pull the plug quickly. So kudos to you, and as you said, you're going to keep going on. But now, the whole reason we did this is starting to happen, right? We've developed this brand. We've now started to bring in a little bit of business, whether it's a lot or a little bit. It's different than it was before. And now it comes to the point of, oh shit, because there's a saying out there, and it's taught out in the industry, that everybody wants leads until you start to get them. And then you better have a process to be able to handle those leads. Or basically all the videos you did and driving the leads in is absolutely wasted time. How has this affected you, Elijah? How did you start to say, oh shit, we're going to have to put a system in place?
So the management system we use is Applied Epic, and it's really nice with our quote intake form. We use Silo, is what it's called. So it pretty much integrates into Applied Epic for us now. So it's really nice because pretty much people that so now I'm at the point where I do get a lot of BS leads from my TikTok, where it's just people messing around because that's kind of my brand too.
Good to know.
But it's really nice because, like, people are just messing around. They're not going to fill out the whole Zalo form. So now I kind of require them to fill out the Zalo form, or else I'm not going to waste my time chasing down, people who aren't actually serious about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice. So pretty much when someone fills out the Zalo form, it goes into Applied Epic. That pretty much, we're licensed in about 12 states now. So it's like 10 or 12 states. So pretty much if they're not in that state, I'll just reach out to them and say, hey, thanks for filling out the form, but I'm not licensed in that state. And then if they're here, if they are in a state I'm licensed in, then it's nice to just in Applied Epic. I kind of go through obviously I do follow-up stuff and everything in Applied Epic on my calendar. So, so that's it was pretty smooth for me there. I was kind of set up with that. It's just at the beginning I didn't have a lot of leads, so I was kind of slow with it. But then once they came in, it was obviously awesome, and it was cool walking in the morning and then seeing 10 leads in my system. Like, oh, sweet, that's awesome, or whatever. So, but that's kind of how that worked.
So, Elijah, as a side note, you need to go to a large broker like a Burns and Wilcox, or I'm just saying them because the first one I think of on the national stage that has a personalized department, and you need to get with them and you need to tell them, hey, I'm getting about this many leads that don't come within these 10 or 12 states, and I'm going to send them to you. And then I want to know a report off of it. And if you actually get enough, you could bundle them, right? So you could say, hey, I'm going to give you 50 leads this month, and I'm expecting to get this much off of those. So I know agents who do that, who are out of Arizona or Iowa, the two I'm thinking of, and they become so good that they start getting these leads from outside their territory. And what they do is they just create a relationship and bundle them and send them to somebody. And also, I don't want to overload you, but you can reach out, anybody of you loyal listeners, you can reach out to Elijah, and you can just, hit him in the thing and say, this is my state, and so that maybe he can keep them internal. Because, keeping them in the independent world is what we want them to do. We don't want them to go to the dark side.
Exactly. There's like 2 people currently that one in California and one in New York. I'm not licensed in those states, so pretty much those states are so big, I do get, not a ton, but I get like a noticeable amount of leads from those states. When I get it, I just pass it over to my 2 people I work with in those states and just say, hey, here you go, have fun.
Okay. Interesting. So, do you feel as if those people, and when I say those people, the leads that you're getting in, you're retaining them? Are they requiring a lot more service? Are you noticing any different than them of your other client?
So in terms of retaining, it's too early for me to tell yet because renewals haven't
been right out of year,
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure on that. That's like what we're very curious about. And then what was the other question again?
The retaining them. Do you feel as if they're a lot more service heavy?
Oh, actually, no, I don't. I feel like they're way easier because it's usually younger people. I say kids, but younger people in their 20s, like usually in their 20s, or maybe early 30s. They're the ones seeing my videos, and I always goof around with my dad about this. They're way easier to me than most older people, I guess, with their policies. They're just like, yeah, whatever. Here's my credit card. Here you go. Yeah. Where older people kind of want to go through stuff in more detail. So
right.
Yeah,
and the good part of that is old people don't buy assets as much as the young people. They're getting wives, they're getting cars and houses and all that stuff. So those are good to grow with, Elijah.
Yep, absolutely. And then, too, and kind of, I'm like 99% personalized, too. So really, on my sometimes I'll do giveaways on social medias where if you get a quote from me, you get a $10 gift card or something. When I do those, what I personally really like to focus in on is younger people that own houses, just because hopefully they'll be my client for a long period of time, and homeowners. And it's kind of tougher to compete with some younger drivers who just go with the Progressive Directs, the Geicos, whatever. So really my target audience, my ideal client is a homeowner, auto, and obviously hopefully umbrella type thing. But so that's really what I try to focus in on giveaways, at least, is homeowners, because that's kind of where I make my bread and butter.
Yeah, I'm the same way. That's what I would go after. I would tell them auto and home, but if we allowed to quote the home with the auto, that's where I would give them the $25 gift card,
Exactly.
In the state of Illinois, we're allowed to do that. A lot of people are sitting there watching this right now, are listening to this, Elijah, and they're thinking, oh, we can't do that in our state. And you're absolutely wrong. There's only literally 3 or 4 states that you can't do it. Just you've been probably told. When I say you, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to loyal listeners. You've probably been told that you can't do it or that there's a limit. Really, what the government basically says is, we don't really care what you do. That's an exaggeration, loyal listeners. But basically, it's got to be fair. Everybody's got to be able to get in if they wanted to. It's got to be able to get in based not based on them buying or not. It's as you said, Elijah. Everybody who lets me give you a quote, I'll give you $25 or $10. That's completely, like, the government doesn't care about that. As long as it's not, hey, I'll give you $10 if you let me quote and you buy.
Exactly.
Well, now that's bullshit, and I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't do that, and I wouldn't want my competitor to do that, right?
Exactly.
So a lot of people, that's something that you really hit on there, Elijah. Because what I did is when I got challenged on it by some other agents. The independent insurance agents of Illinois, I was able to call them and talk to their legal and say, hey, what is this? And they had said, too, because it's Facebook, because you're giving away iPads on there, it really hasn't been challenged much. But that's what they gave me. And they said that they had talked with other counterparts in the United States. And overwhelmingly on these giveaways, as long as everybody has the opportunity to be entered and it's not based on inducement to buy, they're good to go. And if someone turns you in and they want to file a lawsuit over something so petty, well, we got bigger issues. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. And yeah, like you said, obviously it can only be dependent on you letting them quote you, not them buying. And then one thing I do as well, which I found helpful as I kind of kept learning from this, is now when I do giveaways for home, when I say home, it's like I require to quote the auto too, but I require them to send me their deck page to get the gift card. That way I know they're serious and they're at least hear me out because...
Ooh, good one there. Good one there.
Then,
do you use Canopy Connect, Elijah?
Yeah, I found out about it a little bit ago. There was a random agent I connected with in Oklahoma, and he just kind of he saw my videos, he just reached out to me, and he was actually the one that kind of told me about them, and I'm like, oh, that's perfect.
Wow, that's great. Elijah, I really appreciate you coming on, dude. I think you've given a lot of value to the loyal listeners. I think a lot of people want to do this. I'm going to somehow name the podcast around like a guide insurance TikTok or something. You know, because seriously, like a lot of people, you answered a lot of questions that people have, and it doesn't mean that your way is the only way, right? But as far as insurance, those type of customers usually are looking for some type of thing. And 92,000 people are not all your friends, so it's not like all your friends were just watching. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like you did something good, and you expanded the industry, and whether you keep doing it or not, as people find out about you, it starts to make. It's kind of like when Roger Bannister couldn't break the 4-minute mile, and then he breaks the 4-minute mile, and 4 people after him do it within 6 months, right? Once people see you do it. There's Daniel Song out there. If you don't know Daniel Song, he's out of Orange County, California.
I think
he's a TikTok star. He would be about the same time as whenever he was becoming big. He's got, I think he's got like 1.1 million or something like that followers. And what he does it on is just positive thoughts and leadership and stuff like that. He does a really, really interesting one. And if you know Daniel, he walks every walk of that. That's really, truly who he is. Elijah, anything else you want to say?
No, it's been fun talking to you, and hopefully anyone who is thinking about getting into the social media, just, might as well give it a shot. You got nothing to lose. And
it's Big E, the insurance guy. If you want to go look out there and follow him, it's Big E, the insurance guy. So... obviously, big Elijah. If you guys are driving out, and the thing about it is, you gotta give them something to remember because a lot of them are driving or running down the street right now listening to this. So remember, Big E, the insurance guy. Check him out there. Elijah, appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, my pleasure, Jason. Thanks for having me.
Loyal listeners, you know what I do because I do it for you. Tell me your thoughts and tell me your ideas, and I'm going to tell the world what you have to say. Today I've had Elijah Goodman on. He's a real agent inside a real agency giving you the real agency intelligence and not the artificial that they try to make you believe out there. This is Cass. He's Goodman, not Cummings. We're out.